What's up, friends? Today I'm going to be diving into the 10 Facebook ad strategies I use to drive real business growth and profit. But before we dive in, I want to answer a question that I get from business owners all the time, and that is, can new businesses grow and scale on Facebook ads in 2020? And the answer is yes. However, the game is a lot different than it was even 6 months ago. So if you're watching other YouTube videos or reading articles that are more than 6 months old, honestly, your information is really outdated. However, what's great about the 10 strategies I'm about to share with you today is that they work for businesses both big and small. I've been able to scale up businesses to more than $500K in monthly recurring revenue using these exact strategies. And using the same strategies, we've been able to stabilize small businesses with steady and profitable results from Facebook ads. And if you find any of these tips helpful, please give me a like or subscribe. These small actions actually help me out a lot as a new YouTuber. So the first strategy is you have to structure your account the right way. And sure, this topic isn't as sexy as budget scaling or A/B testing, but after auditing over thousands of Facebook ad accounts, this is the #1 place where I see other brands messing up. So why is having the right structure so important? Having the right structure organizes your Facebook ad funnel so that you can actively guard against bottlenecks. And it ensures that you're targeting the right people at the right time with the right budget. At the agency I work at, Fetch and Funnel, we use the tofu, mofu, and bofu structure. And this stands for top of funnel. This is your cold audiences, people who've never heard of you. And MOFU, this stands for middle of funnel, so people like your social engagers or people who've been to your website once or twice. And BOFU, this stands for bottom of funnel. This is your hot traffic that's getting ready to convert. They've either already indicated interest in a product by viewing the product page more than once or by adding to cart. This is an example of what it can look like in an account. You can see here that our tofu campaign is targeting interest audiences, but more commonly we'll use lookalikes to ensure the highest quality of traffic when trying to find new customers. And the MOFU campaign here is targeting website visitors and social media engagers. And both the tofu and MOFU campaigns here are conversion campaigns optimizing for purchase. But we're often going to test alternative optimizations like add to cart or view content in the top of funnel, especially when we're in a period of rapid growth. And here you can see our BOFU campaign, our bottom of funnel DPA campaign. DPA actually stands for our dynamic product ads so that we can retarget with users with products they've already seen or added to cart. Now, my big piece of advice here is to implement a tofu, mofu, and bofu structure. And for bofu, test using dynamic product ads so you can retarget users with products that they already like. Now, #2 is kind of a beast, but it's really important that you guys stay for the entire ride because this is the #1 way to scale accounts in 2020, and that's by using the Power 5. Essentially, the Power 5 packages up all of Facebook ads' best practices in an easy to understand and easy to manage way that actually makes running Facebook ads kind of simple. And it breaks down into 5 separate tactics. #1 is advanced auto matching. This is as easy as turning on a button. All you have to do inside your ads manager is go to Events Manager, click on your pixel, click Settings, and then turn on this button. Unfortunately, the rest of them aren't going to be this simple, but what advanced auto matching does is it allows Facebook to find your users more easily. #2 is CBO, or campaign budget optimization, which I guess is as simple as turning on a button, but there are many right and wrong ways to use CBO. And I have a guide right here that'll show you exactly how to do that. And the third tactic of the Power 5 is using dynamic creative ads. Dynamic creative ads are bomb because not only does it rapidly test 10 different kinds of images and videos along with 5 headlines and 5 pieces of copy and 5 CTAs to find the best combinations, but it actually creates the best combinations uniquely for each user. So if you really like dog videos, but your friend's a big cat fan, Facebook knows to show your friend the cat image and you the dog video. Dynamic creative can be super powerful, especially in the top of funnel when you're trying to prospect for new audiences. And the fourth tactic of the Power 5 is account simplification. Gone are the days of managing tons of ad sets within a single campaign. And thank God, I used to have to manage my Facebook ad accounts by separating all ad sets by age, gender, and placement. All of this on top of doing interest in lookalike testing. And luckily now the algorithm is so much smarter that Facebook actually works better with bigger audiences. Now, the way Facebook recommends that you do this is to have one campaign per objective. So if you wanted to have a conversion campaign, you would actually have all of your conversion ad sets underneath this one campaign. But I've actually found a lot better results by splitting up the campaigns in the tofu, mofu, and bofu. And the fifth tactic of the Power 5 is automatic placements, which simply means that you are allowing the Facebook algorithm to determine the best place to show your ad. This is another easy one. So yes, I do have an upcoming video that's going to be all about the Power 5 and how you can roll it out in your accounts. My key takeaway here is that if you're struggling to get results with your initial Facebook ad campaigns, try using the Power 5. We've seen a huge impact by using all 5 of these tactics together. And the third strategy is campaign budget optimization with broad audiences. So I'm a pretty big fan of using campaign budget optimization, and one of my favorite ways to use it is to pair it with a broad audience. And simply put, a broad audience is an ad set that has little to no targeting, maybe some guardrails on age or gender if it's applicable, but pretty much you're going to be targeting all of Facebook within this ad set. And the trick here is to actually have a CBO campaign that has 2 ad sets. One is going to be your broad ad set, and the other is going to contain your best performing ad set. And what's essentially going to happen here is your best performing ad set is going to train and teach the pixel to look at the broad ad set and to find customers who look exactly like your best performing audience. And this is one of my favorite ways to scale because all you have to do is increase budget and swap out the creative every now and then. No creating of new campaigns and no more wasting your ad dollars trying to do tons more audience testing. All that you have to do is simply increase your budget as long as results are consistent and of course change up that creative. And the fourth strategy is to do robust lookalike testing. Ah yes, lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences are like the salt of the Facebook ads marketing world. To be honest, everything just works a little bit better when you use a lookalike audience. But here I'm not simply just talking about using a lookalike based off of your purchasers and calling it a day, even though that's a pretty good place to start. To really figure out where your best customers are hiding, you're gonna have to do a lot of lookalike testing. And I'd actually recommend testing the following 13 out on your account. Obviously, do a lookalike of your pixel purchasers over the last 180 days, but also do a lookalike of your pixel purchasers over the last 30 days. These are new customers. Also do a lookalike of purchasers based on a certain product. So if you have a best-selling product, this would be a really good place to start. Number 4 is to do a lookalike of customers who made multiple purchasers. Number 5, do a lookalike of your entire customer list, probably exported from Shopify. Number 6, do a lookalike of your entire customer list with a lifetime value. Number 7, do a lookalike of your VIP customers. This is probably going to be your best customers, likely in the top 50 to 20% of your customers' lifetime values. Number 8, do a lookalike of your entire email list. Number 9, a lookalike of your social media engagers. You could also segment out Instagram from Facebook here if your audience tends to be on a certain platform. Number 10, do a lookalike of the top 25% of visitors to your site. This is going to be calculated based on the time they've spent on the site. Number 11, do a lookalike of your add to carters. Number 12, do a lookalike of your website visitors of a certain product page, particularly if you have a best-selling product. And number 13, do a lookalike of your users who've clicked an email in the last 90 days. You can easily find this information if you're using Klaviyo. So my key takeaway here is that you guys have to test out your lookalike audiences to determine which one's going to be best for you. It's not as easy as just doing a lookalike based on your purchasers. And my 5th strategy is to utilize super lookalikes and super interest audiences. Frankly, this is my favorite tip out of the entire bunch. And essentially what you do is when you find the best lookalikes and the best interests that always give you results, simply combine them into one ad set. So why would someone do this? The truth is that Facebook algorithm now works better when there are more people in the audience. And this is to the tune of at least 4 million people in a single ad set. So how do you get 4 million people in a single ad set while still maintaining quality? That is through super lookalike or super interest audiences. And you're simply going to be adding in ad sets that have already proven to work through previous testing. Now you can also do this with interest targeting, and simply what you're going to do is you're going to take your best performing interest targeting or your customer avatars, put them into one ad set and see what happens. So my key takeaway here is to take all the best ad sets that you've tested, put it in the one ad set. This goes for both lookalikes and interest targeting. The 6th strategy is to use copy in your top of funnel campaigns that sells the click. And this simply means that your messaging, whether or not it's in your actual copy or directly in your visual creative, needs to not suck. It also needs to have a distinct purpose, and that purpose is to get people to click through the social media ad and go to your website. And I find the best way to do this is for your top of funnel campaigns to actually concentrate on the ethos of your brand. What's your brand all about? You have to directly call out the kind of people who are going to like your brand and like what you're all about. And I find that using short and engaging copy is the best way to get that initial click. Another thing I like to do here is actually to highlight an introductory offer that people have to go to your website and sign up for your email list to access. Now, number 7 is to make sure that your retargeting copy is conversion oriented. This sounds awfully similar to strategy number 6, right? first we have to make sure that our prospecting copy doesn't suck, and now we have to make sure our retargeting copy is conversion oriented. And this is where having the right structure comes into play. Yep, we're going all the way back to strategy number 1. See, when you separate these audiences into different campaigns or different ad sets, you can actually communicate with them more effectively. As I said before, you need prospecting copy that sells the click, and then your retargeting copy needs to sell that initial purchase. You need to focus on giving those retargeting audiences the right information so they feel confident enough to make a purchase. This includes testimonials as well as any initial offers or discounts you might have for them, and in-depth features of the best product. And the number 8 strategy that I have for you is to make sure you're using mobile-first video creative. So if you're using video in your ad campaigns, which you should be, you want to make sure that this creative is mobile-first. But first, what is mobile-first creative? Simply put, this is content that's made to be experienced on a mobile device, because it's incredibly likely that a user is going to discover your brand first on mobile. The trend for the last few years has actually been that most people will discover a brand on mobile, but then make that purchase on a desktop. However, I'm actually seeing that more and more people are actually purchasing directly on their mobile devices. So as this trend continues, you want to make sure that all the content that you're creating is made to be viewed on a mobile device. So how does one make mobile first content? The criteria for mobile first content includes, number 1, having a vertical aspect ratio. So this could be 5:4 or even 9:16. Number 2, contains a logo of your brand within the first 5 seconds. The reality is that most people aren't going to watch your entire video anyways, so you want to get that brand recognition early on. Number 3, the video should be about 15 seconds long. Like I said, most people aren't going to watch your video anyways, so anything that's after 15 seconds, it's likely they're never going to see it. Number 4, it should be designed for sound off, so it should either contain subtitles or headlines so people don't need the sound to have context for your video. This is because a lot of people browse social media on their cell phone with the sound off. Number 5, it should contain fast and quick movement so that it can catch the attention of people who are scrolling through the feed. Number 9 strategy is to use Instagram stories only creative and targeting. So this takes the previous strategy a little bit further. Number 1, you're going to be creating content that's made to be used on Instagram stories only, and you're selecting Instagram stories only on the placements. And yes, it is true that best practices these days state that you should be using automatic placements on your Facebook ads. And for the most part, I do that, and Fetch and Funnel does that, with the exception of a brand who we think is going to kill it on Instagram stories. So number 1, impressions are a lot cheaper on Instagram stories, so you're able to reach a lot more people with less money. And number 2, Instagram stories are really engaging. So if you have a brand that this would be good for, you're likely to actually reach more people for less money and also get more conversions out of reaching more people. And Instagram stories are super engaging. So if you have the right audience for it, you're actually going to be reaching people where they spend a majority of their time anyways. So that means it's a great place to not only reach them, but also convert them as a purchaser. And my last and final strategy is number 10, to track metrics that actually matter. To be honest, we've gone through 9 super valuable strategies so far in this video, but none of them are going to mean anything unless you know how to properly track them. And this is going to vary for some people, but if you're using Facebook ads primarily to drive purchases, then those purchase metrics are really what you should be concentrating on. Not click-through rate, not CPM, not CPC. The metrics you're going to want to be concentrating on are the volume of purchases, the purchase conversion value, ROAS, as well as CPA, or the cost per purchase. And yes, there are other secondary metrics that are going to matter in the early days when you're just starting off, so that you can determine whether or not your Facebook ads are moving in the right direction or you need to go back to the drawing board. The things you're going to want to look at during that time are things like link click-through rate. This is going to determine if your audiences are actually engaged with your ad and clicking through to the website. Another thing you're going to want to check out is add to carts. And this is really important so you can determine if people are actually moving down the funnel from your ads. Additionally, another thing I also recommend you check out is looking at your leads and your cost per lead so you can know how your ads are affecting the entire funnel of your advertising. Because it's also important to see what other kinds of growth your ads are facilitating. So I know this was a long video, but to be honest, guys, every single strategy I shared here with you today is something that I've been testing and using in all of the accounts that I've run this year. And many of them are actually implemented as long-term strategies in the most successful accounts that we're managing. My advice is to use this video as a guide to determine what you should test next in your Facebook ad accounts. And if you're struggling with your campaigns, leave me a comment on this video. I'm super active in the comments section and I'd love to hear your story and figure out what's going on. Okay guys, thanks, bye!